Greetings, salutations, and good now. I'm local astrologer Kevis Major, doing it major. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about how the Scorpio season is going to affect each and every one of you on a deeper level. Before we go any further, I just want to say, go Scorpio, go Scorpio, go Scorpio. It's your birthday, it's your Earth Day, it's a flight day. Happy Scorpio season to each and every one of you, especially those of you who are celebrating. Now let's get into it. We're going to be interpreting this Scorpio season using the house system. Now, I know a lot of y'all probably don't know anything, have a clue about anything that I'm talking about. And I'm sorry for y'all because if you don't know astrology, you're just left open to, a lot of influences and a lot of effects. And you're just going to be in a more reactive state versus people who know where the energies are coming from and where they're hitting. Then you could take more power and control. And this Scorpio season is about power and control. So I'm going to help you guys, get more power and control over your life. So before we get into this video, I'm, pleading with y'all to get into astrology. Take some time to listen to the videos and try to get a deeper understanding. I know a lot of it may sound a bit complex, and I promise that I'll do like some more beginner videos to help you guys to, get your feet wet and usher you into a new world of a different type of philosophy and a different type of science. And it is really, really in depth, right? And it gives a person great insight into themselves. So if you're a person who is, a bit confused and you're still trying to find yourself and tap into your hidden talents and gifts, or you need help with business and relationships and different aspects of your life where, you feel the need to address certain aspects of your life, you could turn to astrology for more insight. All right, so uh, uh that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? A word to the wise is enough. Now, we're going to be talking about Scorpio. And you see Scorpio over here. Now, we have some more circles. And these represents the houses. Yeah, and this is a little astrological chart. Now, everybody's chart is going to look different. Now, depending on where you have Scorpio, depending on what house you have Scorpio in, this Scorpio season is going to affect you differently. That's why you need to have one of these charts. You understand me? So you could know where your energies lie, in what houses and what planets and the whole shebang. Yeah? And there's many resources you guys could use online and many astrologers all over the world. And you guys have one here locally as well. All right. So if you have Scorpio in the first house, we already know that Scorpio is going to be bringing transformation. Scorpio is really comfortable with the whole process of giving birth, sustaining life, and handling the death phase or the ending of things and then bringing life again. So the whole cycle, Scorpios are adept at doing that. Scorpios also like taking power and control. That's why Scorpio people may seem to like to control others or control situations or just have some domain that is theirs that they could have authority over. We also know that Scorpio deals with occult and taboo matters, a lot of emotional things and things under the surface, things that should be held down. So when it comes to the Scorpio, if you have Scorpio transiting your first house, Scorpio in the first house, this is going to be more about self transformation or transitioning for self. You understand? No, transformation is more on the positive end where you have the power and control to make the changes and go through the necessary adjustments. And a transition is more passive, reactive, where this is happening to you, where you could be transitioned versus you transform yourself. Now, again, if you have Scorpio in the first house, this is going to be transforming your identity or your self-image. Scorpio urges this person to redefine their sense of self. You may experience inner changes and just have a new outlook and a new attitude or even a new appearance. So advice for people with Scorpio transit in their first house, just embrace the personal growth that you're going to be going through and shed the old version of yourself and be mindful of projecting intense emotions onwards. So, while you're trying to change yourself and battle your inner demons, don't battle someone else's demons within them because that's what is happening within you. You understand me? Just enjoy the transformative process of you transforming yourself. So that's if you have Scorpio in the first house. You're going to be trying to take power and control over your personal identity and even your appearance. If you have Scorpio transiting your second house, the second house is the house of values. So this is going to be transforming your finances, transforming your values, your ethics, your morals, transforming your self-worth. So the Scorpio energy brings focus to shared finances, your personal assets, and your emotional attachments to money and things of value. Think about like your property, and your possessions and stuff like this. But don't forget that your physical body, your mind, your mentality, that is your greatest asset. That is your greatest resource. So when you have Scorpio transiting your second house, this is going to be bringing transformation when it comes to your values and your ethics and even your self-value, So there are many financial and investments and material things that, you may associate yourself with, and there is going to be a shift when it comes to that. But it's speaking deeper towards your personal self value and your personal self worth. So, for an example, during this period, if you have Scorpio transit in your second house, you could reassess and maybe put yourself forward for the promotion because, through this transformative period, you're taking power and control over your value and seeing how you're worth more than you're letting on or how much you're bargaining for. And it would open up a situation where you could let go of any doubts or any negative value systems or any negative things associated with your value, and you could increase your value mentally by just saying, hey, like I am that I am, and I'm saying that I'm worth this. So I'm going to increase my hourly rate, or I'm going to increase the value of my products, or whatever the case may be. But if you have Scorpio, I'm saying transiting your second house, the focus is on financial renewal and a deeper understanding of your value. Also too, it could slightly touch on friends and relationships in some way, shape, or form, because these things in your network could be quite valuable. So maybe like your real close friends, or maybe like a business partner or something like that. What I'm saying? You might have a transformative situation there where you need to let go or maybe dive deeper into, what I'm saying, certain type of partnerships in a certain magnitude when it comes to your values. If you have Scorpio in the third house, house of communication, so the theme is transforming your communication and your mental patterns. The Scorpio season, your thoughts, your communication style, and your interactions with your siblings and neighborhood may undergo some sort of change or shift. So the third house speaks to, what I'm saying, a space of being happy and being mentally stimulated, and, having some close people around you, some friends and local travel and moving about. And in this aspect of being able to move about mentally, emotionally, and physically, you could have some, experiences that bring higher learning. So if you have Scorpio transit in the third house, you are going to have some sort of experiences that are going to cause you to grow or have some, deeper understanding or some higher learning. So it's transforming the way that you think, the way how you communicate, and the way that you interact. So pay attention to the hidden meaning behind certain conversations, because transiting to the third house, that's how you're going to feel the impacts, you understand, of the Scorpio season. So it's going to come through more socialization and social situations, and this is a great time to address unsolved issues with like your siblings or people who you grew up with, and explore new mental habits. If you have Scorpio in the fourth house, yeah, the fourth house always deals with home, family, your private life, the thing that makes you feel comfortable. It also deals with, the nurturing energy. So maybe your mom or the motherly figure in the home, or even the person who raised you, or just that energy of taking care of someone or something, and that deep connection that you have with that person, and the idea of creating a home, Yeah. So when Scorpio is in the fourth house, this is going to be transforming the home and the family life. You may confront family dynamics and issues from the past. The Scorpio season invites emotional healing and transformation of your living space and deep conversations with your household. You understand? So this may be spiritually, emotionally, or physically. Where, okay, mentally, you know what I'm saying, you're transforming your mind, you know what I'm saying, and making it more homely. So cleaning up your thought patterns and stuff like this. It could happen in an emotional state where, you know what I'm saying, you're trying to be more comfortable in an emotional state. And that kind of leads you to go out and, move around things physically. So like I already read from my notes, you could be like even cleaning your home, a good time to decorate your space and move things around. This is an example of the Scorpio transit in the fourth house where, you know what I'm saying, you're just trying to be more comfortable and, you're expressing that physically. Release all emotional baggage connected to your roots. Consider redecorating and making your home a space of renewal. So again, it could even play into physical practices or physical things that you do, of just making yourself more comfortable and nurturing a specific physical space. Or it could be nurturing an emotional space, or it could be nurturing some sort of thought in your mind and some sort of mentality. So it gets a bit deep when you start talking about the water signs, because the fourth house is heavily associated with Cancer. But we're talking about the fourth house, yes, specifically the fourth house, not Cancer, the fourth house. And that's why you need to get a chart reading, because you could have Scorpio in the fourth house, but your fourth house is not Cancer. Okay, your fourth house is another sign. You understand me? So that's why you need to get an astrologer to really look at your shit. All right. So again, let's just briefly go over the fourth house, because it deals with a lot of things that make you comfortable, which ultimately makes that your private life, because nobody likes to have their comfortabilities or their vulnerabilities out on the public, out on front street. You understand me? And when you have the Scorpio transiting the fourth house and we have the sun here, there's a possibility to illuminate your private life. Yeah. So shit, stop cheating at this point in time and stop, you know what I'm saying? If you know you got like some situation, some relationship, you got some happy home, you understand me? And the crazy thing about the Scorpio season is that it's not necessarily going to reveal the cheating that's happening right now. You understand me? Because it's an emotional time, things from the past are going to surface. So even if you're not cheating right now, you know what I'm saying? The cheating from 4 months ago or 4 signs ago is probably what's gonna resurface now. You know what I'm saying? That type of crazy thing. All right. If you have Scorpio in your fifth house, Scorpio transit in the fifth house, this is gonna be transformation when it comes to your love, your creativity, and leisure, the things that entertain you and bring you pleasure. So this season encourages passionate self-expression. If you have Scorpio in the fifth house, Scorpios are very creative. Again, we're speaking about the whole process of springing, giving birth. That's creative energy. Sustaining life. That's a whole lot of creative and life force giving. And even death, you know what I'm saying? And transmuting it back to life again. So, Scorpios, whole lot of creativity. And the fifth house, that deals with, you know what I'm saying, pleasure, creativity. So, transforming your creativity and intense romantic expression as well. This may be a transformative time in how you view fun, hobbies, relationships, and even your relationship with your children or even young people. Dive deeply into creative projects. If if love brings challenges, allow these experiences to transform you. So the fifth house speaks towards romance and sex. So it's going to be a transformative period. And, if you're struggling in that department, then just use these experiences to learn, you know what I'm saying? And Yeah, that's all I could say. You know what I'm saying? If you need consultation on dating on a different level, then that's a whole different conversation. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? During the moments of rejection, when you're getting stung, you know what I'm saying? Just chill out. You feel me? Don't be too pushy. Because we know that a lot of people are going to be in their moods and in their feelings right now. You know what I'm saying? So just because the female reject you or whatever, give you a little sting, doesn't mean you need to sting back. You understand me? Just calm down, all right? If you have Scorpio transiting the sixth house of health, this is going to be transformation when it comes to your health and your daily routines. Scorpio season highlights health routines, work habits, and service to others when it transits the sixth house. All right. So the sixth house taps us into that type of Virgo energy where you could be practical and structured and organized when it comes to your routines, and you have some sort of skills, and you serve others. You may need to let go of unhealthy habits and change your daily responsibilities. So if you have Scorpio transiting your sixth house right now, maybe this is the time to, I'm saying, switch up that job or start diving deeper into the emotional sentiment that you're already feeling of maybe this job isn't for you. I'm saying? And you could start planning your exit, start making that exit strategy. But for the most part, when you have you know it speaks towards detoxifying physically and emotionally as well, and this is a time for you to transform your routines and address what's going on, any hidden health issues. Yeah, sixth house deals with health, um and it and I think your nervous system specifically. So you don't want to be worrying too much, or you don't want to have too much stressful situations um piling up if you have Scorpio transiting your sixth house. All right, Scorpio transiting the seventh house. If you have Scorpio transiting your seventh house, understand me? Scorpio in the seventh house. All right, so this is going to be transforming relationships and partnerships. Now, this kind of ties us into the second house a little bit, just because of the house rulers, but the seventh house specifically deals with partnership, that one-to-one close confidant, the person who's gonna be like your huzzy or your wifey or your best friend, the person who, what I'm saying, you're gonna sign the contract with, you're gonna what do they do, jump the broom with and tie the knot with, I'm saying, you're a ride or die type of individual. Now, you're going to be experiencing some transformations when it comes to relationships and partnerships. Scorpio season intensifies those one-on-one connections. So from romantic relationships, even down to the business relationships and business partners, this is a time to address hidden tensions and deepen commitments. Be open to change in your partnership. Let go of relationships that drain you and build deeper bonds where there is trust and passion. So somebody getting the done, the done, the done. And that's why Scorpios that get a bad rep, because it's just Scorpio season. It's in the Scorpio nature to have those transformative situations. So that's why, like, you could understand how a Scorpio, what I'm saying? There's Scorpios who cheat, Scorpios manipulative, Scorpios gonna do you dirty, Scorpios gonna sting you, what I'm saying? But in the Scorpio's mind, the Scorpio knows how to just let go of situations that don't serve them. You understand me? And one of the curses of the Scorpio is their inability to really communicate unless they have experience or the true access. They may not know how to really articulate their world or their worldview, or their deep emotional states. And maybe the way that they express it might come out harsh or rough or short or stoic or even cold and distant, but it might be that just might be the vibe of how they're feeling, what I'm saying? So they can have that verbal vomit, like an Aquarius, but just the way how they say it, that's exactly what the Scorpio means. You understand me? If you understand what I'm coming from. So yeah, be open to changing the relationships, and if you're with a good partner, deepen the relationship. And if you're with somebody who's a waste man or a waste woman, then you probably got to kick them to the curb. So no matter how difficult that decision may seem to be. All right, if you have Scorpio in the eighth house, this is the house of reincarnation. You know what I'm saying? This is the Scorpionic house. Scorpio love to be here. This is what the Scorpio energy is all about. Scorpio is naturally native at doing this reincarnation, death, rebirth, life, deep emotional healing, power and control, narcissistic type of. Well, let me take back the narcissistic. You know what I'm saying? Scorpios are cool. But, Scorpios are natural, or they could exercise these type of energies easier than the other signs. Let me put it this way, because Scorpios could face a challenge even during the Scorpio season. So if you have Scorpio in the eighth house, yeah, Scorpio transit in the eighth house, Scorpio in your eighth house, something like this. The theme is going to be, death, rebirth, and deep emotional healing. With Scorpio in its natural house, issues of intimacy, shared resources, and psychological transformation rise to the surface. Embrace emotional release, dive deep into personal healing, face your fears, and transform all wounds into wisdom. Scorpio also deals with the occult and taboo matters, and like I said previously, things that we tend to hold down and keep behind closed doors or under the table. And because we have the sun here as well, there is an opportunity for certain things to surface and come to light. So we also have to keep that in the back of our mind, that there may be some embarrassing situations brewing. So, during the Scorpio season, you gotta be careful and you gotta be on the right side of the energies. So, again, the advice is embrace the emotional release, you know what I'm saying, and dive deeper into the personal healing. And sometimes embarrassment is a part of it, and it's not about, oh, care, Bob, give a F bar, you know what I'm saying, having a not caring attitude, but shit, sometimes you just gotta accept your follies. You understand me? And ask the Most High to forgive you for your ends. All right. If you have Scorpio transiting the ninth house, the house of philosophy, this is going to be transformation when it comes to your belief and your worldview. The ninth house is all about spirituality as well. The secular worldview would say philosophy, but it's really spirituality. So, transforming your belief and your worldview, the Scorpio energy encourages you to explore deeper truths about your spiritual belief, long distance travel, and educational pursuits. Basically, it's going to be pushing you to have transformative experiences. And whether these experiences are good or bad, ultimately is going to lead you to, to some higher wisdom, to some higher knowledge, to make you a more wiser, more mature individual. And these experiences could come out through a mirage of stuff, especially through like long distance traveling, seeing another country, another culture, or even going to university and being exposed to a higher level of learning and having different resources and so forth. So let's see the advice. The advice for the ninth house: challenge outdated beliefs systems, and challenge outdated belief systems. A transformative journey, whether physical or mental, might help expand your awareness. Kind of like what I just said. So my notes that I do be on point. If you have Scorpio transiting the 10th house. Scorpio transiting the 10th house. The 10th house is the house of social status. You understand me? Your status, what you are the boss of, what you are known for, how you are seen in the society. So you're going to be transforming your social status and your future goals if you have Scorpio transiting your 10th house. Transformations in your career and your public life. Scorpio season could bring career changes, shifts in public reputation, and transformation in professional goals. So, again, been stressing that the Scorpio energy deals with transformation. And if it's in the 10th house that deals with your career and your public life, better believe that there's going to be a shift. Now, do you want to take power and control over this shift? And no, okay, then these are the influences. Let me work with the energy. Or do you just want the shift to happen? You know what I'm saying? And when you look now, you lose your position. Yeah, understand me? You lose your clout. You lose you know what I'm saying, your job, your profession, you lose your whole career just because you ain't working with the energies. You understand me? And sometimes it's time for a shift. And to me, I rather shift myself than for somebody to shift me. So you're holding down a certain governmental job and the government, you ain't on the government side, shift yourself. Ask for a transfer. Ask to go in a different department. Quit the people job and get a different job. You understand me? Move to a different country. Start your own business. Create a partnership or a corporation. There's many ways to, what I'm saying, keep your career going. But the goal is to step into your personal power, and let go of any career path that no longer aligns with your growth. Now, a lot of times we need to do a job to get our money so we could, continue sustaining ourselves. But at some point in time, we need to take time to think about, our long-term goals and our long-term ambitions, which ultimately would be what you want your career to be, right? Now, using astrology, I could break down career in many different ways, but for the most part, it's just going to be a transformative time when it comes to your social status. So even if it's not directly linked to money, because to keep it a being, right, you got certain people who have a public reputation or a public persona. Maybe they're a social media influencer, maybe they're a certain type of athlete, however they came to some sort of notoriety, you know, to get some sort of clout that people know them. That ain't necessarily mean that they're making money. You understand? So you could have a certain social status, a certain social image, you could have a certain career. Some people are career bums. Everybody know them to be a bum. So when it comes to your social status or your career, it doesn't even necessarily have a lot to do with money. It's just how you're seen in society. And so sometimes you gotta let go because you're not even getting money from doing that. You know what I'm saying? So that's something to keep in your minds. If you have Scorpio transiting the 11th house, the house of friendships, this is going to be transformations when it comes to your social circles, also your future goals in some way, shape, or form. So your friendships and your network may shift during the Scorpio season. You know, you might find yourself letting go of old friendships and aligning with new groups that reflect your deeper values. So yeah, not because man away troop, man away troop come to my mind, but not because you joined that troop last year. Me, you need to go sign up for the same troop this year. You understand me? Your friendships and your networks gonna be shifting. You understand me? So go with that energy. Reassess your long-term goals and the people who support them, and make room for new connections and new opportunities. You hear? So the people them who to support you and who you want to be friends with. You understand me? The people who you want walk up and you join that troop. You don't go join the troop that you joined last year just because you could get a discount or just because I'm saying like you had a good time. No. We're gonna be having a new moon as well. So we're trying to usher in some new situations in our life. You understand me? And I just draw that little jokey scenario to just let you know that, okay, you could, I don't know about gang, but shit, you could get jumped out the gang, and you could get jumped into a new gang. No, I wouldn't advise that. But shit, you could leave one church and go to another church. No, these type of situations ain't gonna come without some type of pain. But without pain, there ain't gonna be no gains. So when it comes to, transforming your social circles and your future goals, yeah, it's worth to go through the short term pain of, being ostracized or isolated or even being lonely for a point in time until, you realign with, your dream team in some way, shape, or form. All right. If you have Scorpio transiting the 12th house, and this one is very, very crucial. That's why y'all need to tap into astrology, because the 12th house is the house of undoing. You understand me? That directly taps you into the subconscious realm, that directly taps you into your spiritual natures, that directly taps you into secrets, hidden fears, directly taps you into moments of seclusion and institutionalized. Pisces also deals with hidden enemies. You understand? So if you have Scorpio transiting Pisces right now, this ain't even the time to be keeping up no lot of things with nobody. You understand? It's a time to really calm down and really chill out. So emotional release and spiritual transformation. Scorpio season seeks to take you deeper into the subconscious, unraveling secrets and, tapping you into your most hidden fears. Again, Pisces deals with spirituality, introspection, shadow work, emotional release. It's a real lucid, intuitive time where you're dealing with the subconscious and trying to make sense of the subconscious realm and trying to be able to, even speak about the unspeakable, because honestly the things that happen in your dreams and happen in your mind is like, it's not in reality, so it's almost like translating the unknown and trying to make it apparent. So, you know it's a time for you to really allow yourself to reflect. And even if you're in a war with somebody, or you're in a beef with somebody, or there's a battle that you're fighting, if you got Scorpio transiting the 12th house, this is a time to retreat. Even if you're strong, this is a time for you to play weak, and for you to heal your wounds, and just go through the whole spiritual state of letting go of patterns and hidden fears, and even going into your deep subconscious and looking for the deep things that are not apparent, that are blocking you, and unblocking them, if you understand what I mean. Because you don't know what you don't know. So sometimes you need to sit down and figure out the things that you don't know. If you know what I'm coming from, and then try to know them, so you know what I mean. Like it gets deep like that. Anyway, we're gonna stop for here. I'm gonna say a major farewell for now. We covered the 12 houses and how this Scorpio season is going to affect the 12 houses. You need to get a natal reading. You need to get a transit reading. Otherwise, you would never know which house you have Scorpio transiting. For example, me, I have Scorpio transiting my 10th house. Yeah, so I'm having a transformation when it comes to my social status. People used to know me as being A. Now y'all know me as being Kevis Major, local astrologer, doing it major. You know what I'm saying? So I'm using myself just now as a public example to show you guys a little example of what this thing really looks like in reality. So again, if you need a natal reading or transit reading, a natal reading talks about who you are. A transit reading speaks towards the time that we are living in now and how it affects you on a personal level. So it's comparing your natal chart with the current planets and making the correlation, to see how the energies are affecting you right now. So if you're interested in having any of those readings, send me a DM or send me an email at kevisbmajor@gmail.com, and we could start communicating and see how we could get you a reading. All right, major farewell until we greet again. I'm local astrologer Kevis Major, doing it major.